we're gonna get going. We have the brand new setup. I'm super excited for this. And you can see when everything is laid out. Does this look better on your end? Hopefully you might be able to read things more clearly, or the PDFs are a little bit larger. I really tried to clean up the presentation for you all to make this an easier presentation that we can click back and forth. Now, primarily, I mean, we're gonna get started here. Hey, Demon Quiller. So we have a, and Katniss would also like a roll too, that's fine. So, Hark. We now have, because I have all the options turned on. This is the absolute stress test of our imaginations from D&D. With the exception of Unearthed Arcana, we have all the official stuff, the plane shift stuff through Magic the Gathering collaboration, and also D&D time stuff. So the first roll is going to go to Hark. And Hark, we have 93 races. We have 93 races. So I would like you to type !roll space 93 to get things going. And you roll a 93. Well, hey, what are the odds? I think we can calculate it. All right, so what is the absolute last race that is here? A Yuan-Ti Pureblood. And that's out of Volo's Guide to Monsters. We have a Yuan-Ti Pureblood. All right. Quingar, will you please give me a D100 roll to figure out our Yuan-Ti Pureblood's alignment? And Turvin, if you're looking for inspiration, look at how we build characters bit by bit, and we build a story. And from there, from the character, we'll produce the environment. And the environment will produce even more things for us. Rolls a 56. We're just on the border of true neutral. Alright, so we have a neutral Yuan-Ti Pureblood. And at which level are we going to make this character? Katniss, will you please also roll a D100 and let MathRocksBot help us out? Okay. Here, I will, thank you. If y'all don't tell me my music is in need of adjusting, I might not know because my headphone level could be different than what you all hear. So yeah, Katniss, give us a D100 roll, please. All right, MathRocksBot gives you a result of an 80. So we are making a beefy level 16 Yuan-Ti Pureblood. Now, let's determine if we're going to replace any ability score increases or improvements with feats. Van, will you please roll a D100 in chat? And let us know if we're taking any feats. Oh, you know what? I completely forgot to go female, male, or multi-class. I guess we'll do that one next. But Van, if you can help us out with the feats. Well, at least the purebloods do. It's much better? Okay. Van might not be around. Azrael, will you please type ! roll space. Oh, there's Van. Alright, Azrael, you can still get the next one. 1D100, Azrael. Van rolls a 20. We're all natural. We're just taking ability score improvements. And Azrael's going to determine, do we have a female character, a male character, or are we going to multi-class and do it again? $36. All right, so we have a female. We are going to start filling this in. We have a female Yuan-Ti Pureblood. They are medium-sized creatures, neutral alignment, and we're generating her at level 16. All right, next up we have background sources. Unless anyone wants to redeem points to like lock in, so if you click on the inspiration, which is the black exclamation point on the yellow explosion, you can get in on a roll. In fact, what I might do is if there's a particular roll that you want to roll, because you can leave a message with it, I can actually go back. And I can go back and see your message, and I can clear them as we go through the character creation process. Hey, this is the learning curve. All right, Sheeps wants to redeem and roll some dice. Sheeps, there are 78 backgrounds that are now loaded into our character generator. Can you please give me a 78-sided dice roll? All right, Demon, you want class? No problem. All right, so is number 17, a Cloistered Scholar, which would be actually kind of appropriate for us, a Yuan-Ti Pureblood if you're trying to infiltrate and hide and learn. So we have a Cloistered Scholar, and that is out of the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. And there's no additional die rolls for the type of scholar. Actually, we probably could if it's based on scholar, which I believe it is, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right, next up, we have class and subclass, and Demon Quiller redeemed chat points for the class. And so, Demon, will you please give me a 13-sided die roll? Oh, the command has changed. It's roll space, and here it would be 1d13. Mathrock's bot works differently than the bot that was handling it before. And we get a 12. A 12 is a Warlock. Yeah, there's Demon, because of all the changes and the improvements I've been making behind the scenes, some things are going to be a little bit different, but that's exactly why we're doing a nice, a nice gentle character creation run. All right, so we have a Warlock. Which kind of Warlock do we have? There are 6 different kinds of Warlock. And so, Lord Prettybeard, will you please type roll space 1d6. And we get a 2. And that is Celestial. Well, hey, RGE. That works. Alrighty. Next up, we have class features. And Warlocks, of course, get a pact. Oh, thank you very much, Oh Sheeps. Thank you for hanging out, keeping the energy going, explaining things to people. You know that you are valued, and that tomorrow, because Saturday night is the end of the normal broadcast. There's a couple people that I have something special for, and so if you can be around, then I'd like you to be. But there are people who have been a part of the community doing things that I want to give a thank you to. Okay, now I need, let's see, I don't see a roll request queued up. Crum Draw Day, will you please type !, roll, space, 1d3. Cromdrade, are you there? There. Oh, all right. Pouty Lips is stepping up. Thank you. Rolled a 1. We have a Blade Lock. A Celestial Blade Lock. Oh, all right. Sorry, Cromdrade. There was a little bit of a delay here. And to keep things moving, but Cromdrade, I'll tap you for another dice roll here in just a second after I get this noted down. All right, so we have this. We're not quite done. We're not quite done, as we're going to go to the Yuan-Ti. Yuan-Ti Pureblood. And now we got to figure out how old is she. So, Cromdrade, can you give me a percentile roll? ! Roll, space, 1d100. Alright, so Cromdrade is lagging. Alright. Cromdrade may still be in the process of typing that in. Diadems, can you do me a favor? Let's skip to the next section. Can you give me the height modifier of 2d10 for our character? Alright, Cromdrade rolled a 24. That is a young adult. a young adult, and RGE Wolf, can you please give me a D6 roll? A D6 roll to determine the age of our character. Diadems is adding 11 inches to her height. So she is going to be 5'7". This is young adult. And you rolled a 5, so she is 16 years old. She's 5'7". Kitty Bird, can you please give me a 2d4 roll for the weight modifier? Hey, Coffee Cat, welcome. Coffee, we've been on a hell of an adventure tonight. We were hecking all over the place. All right, stops on a 3. So we're going to take that 3, multiply it by the 11. We're adding 33 pounds to the base weight of 110. So she is 143. Ah, good. All right, Crumdrade. Now, Coffee Cat, you're here. And I would like you to give this character some personality. Coffee Cat, will you please type !roll space 2d8. !roll space 2d8. Coffee, it was an emotional roller coaster. Alright, you have a 6 and a 7. Ta-da! Those are her personality traits. And lastly, but not leastly, and it might not even be lastly, depending on if there's a subsequent scholarly roll that we need. I could use someone to roll 3d6. Who is here that hasn't rolled yet and would like to? Rytel, are you still here? Rytel, if you're still here, can you type !roll space 3d6? Yep, Math Rock Spot. That's what we got going on. 5, 5, and 3. Bewitchcraft, you're still here? Alright. Hey, Chris Air. Bewitchcraft, if I need another roll, unless someone gets it with their channel points, which is that little, it's that black exclamation point with the yellow explosion behind it. Unless someone zings you for that one, I'll give a subsequent roll to you. All right, cool. So we have the outline of the character, and we're ready to go and to dip into the resources that we need in order to polish her up. Now, what I enjoy doing, you all know this, I love starting with the background of the character. And the reason I do that is, you know, humans are humans, right? We have legs, we have arms, wonderful. You know, we don't have dark vision. Great, we all share that. Does our lack of dark vision necessarily define us as a person? Maybe in a slight way. But who are we? What was our first job? What are our hobbies? Do we get angry easily at other people? These are the things that really help bring a character out. And so this is why I really love starting with the character's background. It's going to tell us so much about the individual, and Turvin, if you're still out there, the character's background helps you flesh out your world in beautiful ways as a dungeon master, and you don't even have to think terribly hard about it either. We get angry easily because the rest of the party has dark vision. Well, we didn't roll Charlatan. We have a Cloistered Scholar. But you know, we'll see what we get here. So as a child, arguably we might still be. We're close. Like we're on the verge of adulthood at 16. I mean, heck, and back in Get Ye Flask days, 16, you're like, oh, geez. You're not married and already have a kid by 16? What are you doing? This is Middle Ages. I'm not just talking about the epoch. Like, you got probably 16 more years to live a natural life. So we were brought into a great institution of learning. And there we were just, we were cloistered. We lived there. It was our Hogwarts, right? All the dorm, like we were just kept in this monastery or this library. So we were taken in, and we're going to get skill proficiencies in history, and then plus one of our choice from among Arcana, Nature, and Religion. I'm going to put a note here about that, because we'll choose one that fits her personality. Look, the things that we like and we do, that tends to be where we end up. Coffee Cat likes art. Coffee Cat makes art, interestingly enough. If Coffee Cat didn't like art, I imagine Coffee Cat would not be making art. So, whatever the personality of our young Yuan-Ti Pureblood is, that will extend into her interests and her fields of study. She's going to get to learn 2 languages of our choice, and we're also going to be getting some equipment. We'll get Scholar's Robes. I like art too. He's cute, says Pneumonica. Coffee Cat is also having to do art in different days. Oh. Are you changing your schedule, or is this, do you have another project going on? A writing kit. A borrowed book on the subject of your current study. And you know what? I think we are going to have to get our field of study sorted out. And a belt pouch with 10 gold pieces. Now, our background feature is library access. Though others must often endure extensive interviews and significant fees to gain access to even the most common archives in your library, you have free and easy access to the majority of La Biblioteca. Though it might also have repositories of lore that are too valuable, magical, or secret to permit anyone immediate access. And it is going to suggest using the Sage characteristics from the Player's Handbook. And so I hope by now, if you've hung around even a little bit, you all are familiar with Chapter 4 of the Player's Handbook. And so here we are going to skim along until we get to the Sage. Now, Bewitchcraft, this is the role that I need from you, is what kind of field of study have we picked up in our cloistered school days here at the Magical Academy? And Bewitchcraft, I would like you to roll a D8 in chat to help us determine that. Well, Coffee, let us know your schedule, and as much as we can, let's help support you in that regard. Healthy living is good, and then getting into those habits of good streaming. You know, let's reward it by having community stop by and say hi. Yeah, no noisy shoes. Bewitchcraft, it is exclamation point roll space 1d8. Coffee, I will remember that for future commissions as well. Alright, you rolled a 2, and so we have a young astronomer. We have a young astronomer. Well, I mean, it could be overlap. I think there's a way to collaborate streams as well, Coffee Cat. That could actually be a cool opportunity as well. I mean, on its face, it may seem sad. At the same time, you might be able to do some cool stuff with this. Hey, Victor. Good morning. Okay, now the personality traits that Coffee gave us. Oh, it's just partners? Ah. Well, I don't know, maybe you could still somehow have a back and forth, or maybe, I don't know, like you can have like Discord open and you can talk with each other or something as you're having a conversation and you're both drawing. That could be cool too. I'm throwing out ideas. It's your channels. I try to be an optimistic person and look for, you know, silver linings. Alright, Coffee gave us some personalities here, and those are going to be number 6 and 7. I speak slowly when talking to idiots, which almost everyone is compared to me. She's a sasspot. And number 7, I am horribly, horribly awkward in social situations. Probably because she looks at everyone being beneath her. I don't know. That came to mind. I could be wrong. But you know what? It could be the other way around. What if she feels so, I don't know, nervous in social settings that she tries to put up this defensive barrier and looking at people being beneath her? Or, you know, she holds these fantasies in her mind. Social anxiety. If any of you have read the manga, It's Your Guys' Fault I'm Not Popular. What's that shortened to? Like, Watanabe? Something like that? It's one of those titles that has like a really long title. It's really funny, and the main character, I think her name is Kuroki. She's very awkward. Like, you read this manga, and even though it's completely fictional about... Oh, yeah, Watamote. Thank you, Nina. Hey, Nina coming in with the support. Just make sure you're gentle. Yeah, Watamote, that's right. So, even though you're reading this fictional manga about a girl in another country, you go, ooh, that's awkward. And it makes you kind of cringe up a little bit at things that have happened. But because of how awkward she feels, she has these elaborate imagination sessions where she's like the dominant one in charge. She's the popular one. She's the one that all the people look at for attention. Thank you for the update, Coffee. Please be well and get some sleeps. Go slep, be potat. All right, Coffee. And let us know the details about that too, please. So now we're getting to know her better, and that's just with 2 personality traits. Now let's look at her ideal. Her ideal is number 5, power. Oh my gosh, we are making karaoke. Power. Knowledge is the path to power and domination. So we have a wallflower who wants to rule the world, who does want to have people under heel, who does want to have, you know, people throw accolades and flowers and themselves at her. Her bond is number 5. I've been searching my whole life for the answer to a certain question. And what is that question? Is it academic? Is it, how do I become popular? When you're 16 and going to magic school and you're like living on premise, and you have these existential crises. So we get to ask ourselves, what is the question that she wants answered? You know, a piece of equipment that she got is a borrowed book on our field of study. Yes, we study, we're an astronomer. I was about to say astrology, which isn't quite the same thing. What if a part of her wants to know about the stars for scientific reasons, but can't help thinking that there is astrological signs of love and friendship and wealth and success and popularity that maybe she can find on the side? Do the stars hold sway over us? Am I meant to be a snack girl? Even if does she even know she's a snack girl? The Yuan-Ti are very good for this kind of manipulation. And if any of you are familiar with the term Potemkin Village, you would get a... that would be the idea I'm going after. And if none of you do, then I'd urge you to look it up, or one of you smarty pants discuss what a Potemkin Village is, or, well, was. Yeah, astronomy and astrology, yeah, like alchemy and chemi. Have a good night, Coffee. Nerd by day, dominatrix by night. Coffee says during the subathon, free commissions all night. Ooh, with the different tiers. Oh, very cool. All right, yeah, keep us updated on that, Coffee, and have a good night. Yeah, she is a Yuan-Ti Pureblood, yes. And finally, what is her flaw? She's been perfect to this point. What are you talking about? My character has a flaw. Ugh, whatever. No characters have flaws. Her flaw is number 3. Unlocking an ancient mystery is worth the price of a civilization. Ooh. Hello, Yuan-Ti. Ooh, so this character, just from the personality alone, just from her background, we're bringing up concepts of nature versus nurture. We're coming up with, I want my high school friends to like me, and then we also have fantasies about, you know, having people bow down to us, and you know, like, we want power, we want to rule the world, even though we're so socially awkward. This is, you know, Nina, it is Watamote, which is, it's all your guys' fault that I'm not popular. I think that's the expanded title. This character is the main character right now, with how it is. Okay. Cool, we have a background. And arguably, we have the character's character already. Can you imagine her in your mind? How she speaks, how she carries herself? What's her posture like? You don't have to be an artist to get what you're imagining. Now, we are going to look at what do Yuan-Ti Purebloods... What do Yuan-Ti Purebloods get? And that is going to be in Volo's Guide to Monsters. Where are you? Furbolg. Monstrous Adventures is on 118. Here we go. Our charisma score increases by 2. And our intelligence increases by 1. We have a speed of 30 feet, giving us a 15 climb, 15 swim, 0 fly. We have 60 feet of dark vision. We also are going to get some innate spell casting. So we have innate spellcasting, poison spray, and this is going to get translated also onto our spell sheet. Now we're level 16, so all of these level restricted ones are going to be unlocked. You can cast Animal Friendship an unlimited number of times with this trait, but you can target only snakes with it. Well, these Harry Potter references are, Animal, Friendship, Unlimited, Snack only. Then we can cast Suggestion once per long rest. Once per long rest off of Charisma. I'll abbreviate this to make the letters bigger. We now have magic resistance. You have advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. We also have poison immunity. So up here, I'll zoom in a little bit. Up here on this sheet we use, you have immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. We're going to hit the dot with immunity. And lastly, you can speak, read, and write Common, Abyssal, and Draconic. There we go. So congratulations. She's a scholar who happens to be Yuan-Ti. We have both those elements. And now, as this comes together, how does she express herself into the world? You know, through her magic and her studies. Well, she is a warlock. As such, we are going to build a warlock, and then we'll worry about the subclass. So here we go. We're going to build 16 levels of warlock, and this is what we have to worry about. We have a +5 proficiency bonus. We're going to know 4 cantrips, so I'm going to put placeholders here. 2, 3, and 4. Spells known we're going to get to. Spell slots. We have 3 5th level spell slots. And that's it, because that is how Warlocks roll, everyone. And then, of course, we're going to be getting some invocations. And the invocations, we get 2 at 2, and then another one at 5th. So if we go level 2, two at 2, 5, 7, 9, 11. So you see, 5, 7, 9. Oh, I'm sorry. We get our other one at 12. And then at 15th level, we get another one. Sorry if I missed stuff in chat here. Is what another roll, Katniss? Victor, you feeling in a random mood on a Saturday morning? Yeah, Azrael, it's unlimited, but limited to snakes. Yeah, funny, she has a pact with the Celestial but cannot speak Celestial. And you know what? RGE Wolf, as Kromdrade said, that's a good point. You know, for whatever reason, Rangers, you know, you learn languages based on this. I don't know why Warlocks don't have a built-in language, like the language of your patron. That would be interesting. Then again, I guess you'd have to give Celestial to Clerics, when, of course, gods can just speak whatever. However, I will say, RGE Wolf, that's an awesome point to make. And if you're playing this character, you can go to your DM and say, look, I have a Celestial Pact. Can I replace one of my languages? Or heck, I know it's a rare language. Can I give up my two floating languages? Or can I replace Abyssal, which should be a rare language? Maybe for some reason I'm a Celestial Yuan-Ti. We're from a dissenting tribe or something. Don't be afraid to ask about that and have that conversation. Okay, what else now? We are a D8 hit die class, and as we're level 16, we get 16 D8 that we can spend when we rest in order to recover ourselves without the need for potions or using magic. Our proficiencies. We are proficient with light armor and simple weapons. We get no tool proficiencies. Our saving throws are wisdom and charisma. And then we get to choose 2 skills from Arcana, Deception, History, Intimidation, Investigation, Nature, and Religion. Now, don't forget, we're floating a skill choice from our Cloister background, which is Arcana, Nature, and Religion. I would imagine we get History. Things like to be an astronomer or to study astronomy, history is important. There's probably a lot of other things that are mixed up with the stars, which would include religion. I think, I mean, really any of these could apply, because even what's the nature of stars? Because nature could very well look into the scientific, you know, because the nature skill is scientific. You know, survival tells you don't eat that red thing. Nature tells you, like, don't eat it, but this is the reason why. And given her personality, I've been searching my whole life for the answer to a certain question. Well, if we get nature and religion anyway, from being a warlock, she's not social. I mean, she has charisma. I don't think she's social in that regard. And so I think if we choose... Huh, it's interesting. I wonder if studying the stars is what got her into contact with the Celestial Pact. That's something fun to think about. So let's give her religion off of her background, and that'll clear this. And then we get to choose 2 others, huh? Ah, Pneumonica, very good. Oh, so give her investigation because she's a bookworm or a snake. Ah, got it. All right, so I do like investigation. Now, all right, I think she would take Arcana or Nature with this other one. Which do you think is a stronger case for this character as you know her? Would she study Arcana or would she study Nature? Oh, all right, Katniss. Wolf, you say Arcana. Think she's going to glean more from the stars with an arcane bend? Katniss says Nature. Uh-oh. Who can break the tie? Crumdrade thinks Arcana. Average Joe says Nature. It's back to 2 and 2, folks. The race is getting tight. Of course, we could just drop religion. If we wanted to. We could drop the background religion and just give her Arcana and Nature. I'm seeing a lot more Arcana. Alright, so do you want her to then have Nature or religion? Because investigation makes way too much sense for her not to have. Her flaw says Arcana. Unlocking an ancient mystery. Well, I mean, that could be history. That you could have religion as well. All sorts of ancient societies could be found in that regard. Arcana and religion. All right. Y'all can download this later and modify her skills if you want. But to keep things moving along. To keep them moving along. We are gonna get some starting weapons, but you know what? I've slipped into the habit where if we're doing character creation, it's up to you. Do you want her to have a light crossbow or a dagger? I mean, she's gonna get daggers anyway. And so to keep things moving here, I mean, maybe she has a signature weapon. If you think that if she has a dagger and it's one of those wobbly bladed ones, a Chris, although it looks like a snake or something, cool. You know, customize it. Have fun in that regard. All right, now does she use a component pouch or an arcane focus? Well, let's see. I speak slowly. Horribly awkward. You know, if she is an astronomer, what if she has a glass lens? You know, like what? And Average Joe is just throwing this back in my face. How dare you? That's fine. Shooting for the stars, a longbow. Unfortunately, she doesn't get that in her starting gear, but you can always ask your DM. You know, so I was thinking, well, what if all astronomy students are issued a focus, a lens? So when it's their turn at the telescope, they put their lens in there, and then they use their own lens to see. They carry it around as a sign that they're a part of the program and to foster responsibility, and also to get like 1,000 gold pieces from the safety deposit their parents put down before dumping them off at the boarding school. She is a Blade Pact. You are correct. Hey, Daly. Does the blade count? It might, actually. Let's take a quick look here. You are proficient. It counts as a magical weapon. The PHB does not explicitly say that your blade or whatever weapon that you're using can be used as a focus. All right, Van, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. It was a bit of a roller coaster, but you know what? You're along for the ride, and thank you so much for being a part of it. Yeah, Aaron. I think that would work because it could be a token of her being a student of astronomy, and so you know they all have their lenses or something. Although Daily, unless that's a rule elsewhere, I'm not seeing that explicitly, and I'm happy to learn as this is something that would be new to me, but I don't. Unless you're talking about unless you're talking about that one, like, what is the common tier magic item that lets you put a focus on a weapon? It's like a ruby of something. It's in Xanathar's guide as a common, unless that's what you're talking about. But at least from what's written here, this doesn't automatically... The pact weapon doesn't become your focus. Okay, that's the one you're talking about? Alright. So yeah, it's doable. And you know what? I don't want to hem-haw too much. Your focuses... Foci? And component pouches mechanically are almost completely the same. They're expressions of your personality. I think there is one little difference. Just because some things either require a focus, or some things I think require a component of like a special component that would be in a component pouch. There's a lot of overlap. They don't always do the same thing. But you know what? You might have a DM that says, I don't care, choose one. Do you like having a bunch of, like, a Batman utility belt filled with all kinds of cool mystic stuff that you collect along the way? Or do you want your favorite Sharpie marker to cast magic missile? You know, make it, not disinterested, but make it, you know, fun for the character, fun for the world in which you live. What else are we getting? We have our magic. We're going to get to magic. Yeah, we have a magic user, but that's one of the last things that we worry about. We do get our Eldritch Invocations. We have our Pact Boon, so that's the Blade Pact. And we will get some Mystic Arcanum here. At 11th level, we are going to get that at... So we have a Mystic Arcanum. And this was at 11. Then we have 13 and 15. There we go. We're level 16, but we're not going to get our 9th level spell until level 17. Boo. All right. Being a Celestial now, I think that is... Well, we do need to keep this open for the Eldritch Invocations, though to now look at our Celestial Patron, we're going to have to go into Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Whoops. You gotta come over here. Warlock. Here we go. We get an expanded spell list, which means we can take these as if they were Warlock spells. These do not get added to your character like Oath, Domain, or Land, Circle of the Land spells. There are options among that that get added into the normal list for you. We're going to get a bonus cantrip. We're going to learn Light and Sacred Flame. I'll add those here. It's a little bit more condensed, but we are going to get bonus cantrip of Light, bonus cantrip of Sacred Flame, and then of course we're going to get our 4 normal cantrips on top of that. There we go. Healing Light is an ability that we're going to be getting. Gain the ability to channel celestial energy to heal wounds. You have a pool of D6s that you spend to fuel this healing. So actually, Healing Light is going to be better. Almost like the lay on hands or key points and stuff we can put over here. Healing Light D6s. And number of dice in the pool equals 1 plus your Warlock level. So we get 17 of these. So I'm just going to remove this to save some space on this side. Auto magically, says Daily. Auto focus here, says Joe. So when you level, you can change an old spell out. Does that work with cantrips as well? No. But there was an Unearthed Arcana, which anecdotally many think is going to be an option in a future book that would let you swap out your cantrips. Especially because a lot of DMs kind of allow for it anyway. We are also a Radiant Soul. We are a conduit of radiant energy. We have resistance to radiant damage, so we're going to fill that in as well. Immune to poison, resistant to radiant. Celestial resilience at 10. We get temps whenever we finish a long or short rest. And we get Searing Vengeance at level 14. All right. You know what? So we have the concept here of it writes itself. Here we have a reclusive, socially awkward teenage girl cloistered in a magical school who aches not just for knowledge but for social acceptance. One day, or night, as things go, she looks through her telescope with her lens, and a celestial who has heard her like comes down, maybe even like through the lenses, and forms a pact with her to give her power in exchange for her service. And the power could help her become friends with more people, and even help her to discover more about writing and secrets that she wants. And thus we have the character as she has been manifested. You've seen you say that like that's a singular anime, Mnemonica. I think there's like 4 or 5 that. Yep, the whack that bites back. Exactly, Crumdrade. And so here, you know, she's reclusive, kind of vindictive, and she might feel superior at times. But she also can heal people, make them feel better. Yeah, Celestials are like angels, planetars, Kirin, other beings of the upper planes. And ASMR, if you were a paladin and you pinged for Celestials, by the book, ASMRs would not show up on your paladin radar. As a dungeon master, I throw in tieflings as fiends and ASMRs as Celestials, because I think there's that, you know, there's that fun little lingering bit. And ASMRs themselves, as they're written, have patrons. And so is this warlock a warlock of a powerful ASMR who then serves an even more powerful being? That could be the case, you know. All the magic flows downhill. For warlocks, remember, a lot of other stuff flows downhill too. Ooh. It could. It could, Ezreal. Now we're gonna snap back here, and what kind? We're still fleshing out the character. I mean, while we're assigning mechanical abilities, these are all things that are supporting who she is as a person. I don't think that she is. You know what? Especially because she gets Searing Flame. I don't think that she's going to take what is it? Eldritch Blast. Now here is another conversation point with your dungeon master. Would your dungeon master, because of the intimate connection with your heavenly host, would your dungeon master allow you to reflavor Agonizing Blast as affecting Sacred Flame? And you might have to promise your dungeon master, look, I will not take Eldritch Blast, but could I take Agonizing Blast and apply it to Sacred Flame instead? And your dungeon master might say, sure, they're both attack cantrips. That's fine. It's also thematic. I'm cool with that. And hey, you have a cool, unique character that may not necessarily have broken anything, or even if it has, your dungeon master is at least aware of it. There's a constant undertone of distrust. Ooh, I love that, you know, when the players can get that kind of percolation going. Joe, that is wonderful. Now, the good thing about Blade Locks is that they don't, you know, are they as dependent on Eldritch Blast? Yeah, I mean, they have a melee weapon they can just go to town with. We have Arcana, History, Investigation, and Nature. Now, what are invocations that she'd take? You know, the first one that came to mind would be Eyes of the Runekeeper, because she can read all writing. You might also ask, if you have a Celestial, instead of dealing necrotic damage, would Life Drinker be a Radiant instead? Again, ask, why not? May not hurt. Turns into Lifelink in Magic the Gathering. Because she's smart and would probably manifest things to replicate what, you know, tools or weapons, especially if she's investigating old societies, I think that she would lean into her blade pactness. And I would be very comfortable giving her the Life Drinker, as well as the extra attack, the Thirsting Blade. I also think that because she's not very social, she could appreciate things like Whispers of the Grave. Let's see. She does. I speak slowly when talking to idiots, which almost everyone is. I'm awkward in social situations. Knowledge is the power. So things that are going to make her smarter. I'm searching my whole life for an answer to a question, and I want to unlock an ancient mystery. So ancient ruins and stuff. Whispers of the Grave. By the way, you can manipulate your invocations when you level up, kind of like your spells. Just throwing that out there. What you're seeing over here, I guess over here. Over here? No, over here. What you're seeing over here is just kind of taking it raw on the level up and not modifying it. But, you know, you can tinker with things as you wish. Mask of Many Faces would probably help if she wants to hide. Eldritch Sight would help out as well. And we need one more. I don't know if Devil's Sight would necessarily... Now, I thought about Beguiling Influence because of Deception and Persuasion, and this would be the pact doing so, but what if the Celestial made the pact to try and teach her a lesson that she doesn't need this necessarily? You know, because she's not going to try and deceive people anyway, or she's deceiving herself, if anything. I don't know if she would have Beguiling Influence. Beast Speech might work, because maybe she won't be awkward around animals. The Mage Armor one, Armor of Shadows, could be a good one as well. Actually, what? Instead of Life Drinker, maybe the extra attack is there. That's a little bit of extra damage. What if we moved Whispers of the Grave here? And I think that Visions of Distant Realms would be good for her. That's the one that lets you cast Arcane Eye at will. I think that'll be a lot more appropriate for her. And what I'm thinking for Armor of Shadows would be kind of like a magical girl sequence where when battle initiates, she draws on her celestial, like, moon prism powers. And, you know, she can manifest her weapon, and then she manifests this radiant armor. Maybe she wants to try and take on an alter ego, so people at least like the superhero version of her, even if they don't know it's actually her. Or it would be like, have any of you seen, why am I forgetting the name? It's the anime that has the duck. Oh, Princess Tutu. Have any of you seen Princess Tutu? If not, look, I get it. You're like, whatever. I'm not going to watch an anime like that. Princess Tutu is a very good anime. And by the end, things start getting pretty real. Little kind of weird. But yeah, if you've seen Princess Tutu, that could apply to, oh, Crumdrade, well, thank you for hanging out with us. Have a great night. Oh, Joe, I missed your comment. Devil Sight? Well, I mean, Devil Sight does let her see in the dark. That is true as well. And we can replace it. I can replace, maybe Mask of Many Faces, if she doesn't want to have the other, like, the magical girl stuff. Which one do you think should be cycled out if you want to give her Devil Sight? All right, so cool. I mean, you can still answer that question there. Oh, saw it about 10 years ago. Yeah, Azrael. It's a cool anime. You know, you might see it and you're like, I'm not gonna watch something called Princess Tutu. I don't care if it's an anime. Come on. Maddie Morgs suggests the anime Princess Tutu to you. Oh, just all right. No problem with suggesting either. I mean, Joe, if you want to make a case, it doesn't have to even be a strong one. Just, hey, yeah, what's on your mind? And we could swap something out. This isn't my character. This is our character. All right, so anyway, we have our class and our archetype filled in. And now that we have the chassis, it's time to drop the engine into it and find out, find out what is going to be crunchy. Now, this is what I would like to ask you all. We have a weapon. We do have a weapon wielding. We have a weapon wielding warlock, and the blade, I think, lets us. I think the blade does let us use charisma if we so choose. Your proficient counts as magical. Oh no, wait! You do not cast off, or you do not attack off of charisma. So here's my question. Do you, we're already building a warlock that is not taking Eldritch Blast. What? Nani? That's right, no Eldritch Blast for her. Do you think, to reflect the fact she's socially awkward, we make charisma her dump stat? If we gave her an 8 in charisma, her Yuan-Ti-ness would bump it up to a 10. Would you like to make a charisma 10 warlock with no Eldritch Blast and still be functional? I think charisma Charisma would be the dump stat for this character. It doesn't... Here we go. Hot take. Just because you're playing a Warlock doesn't mean you need a high Charisma. Just because you play a Cleric doesn't mean Wisdom needs to be your highest score. I ain't fibbing, I'm truthing. Joe? Oh, you said what... Yeah. I think she should have a very good int. I think we should give her decent strength and dex. She's a physical character. In fact, you know what? She's young. She probably like a young Sheldon Cooper. Sheldon Cooper doesn't have a high wisdom. Wisdom, charisma. You know, fortunately, we're proficient with the saves. But she's 16. She's socially awkward, and she hasn't been around in the world that much. You know, she at least, like, eats oatmeal or something and has a, you know, a pretty good constitution. Yeah. I think this is our character. I feel really good about this. I feel really good. So we have this, right? We add in our 2 from Yuan-Tiness into charisma, so she's not negative. Intelligence gets a boost to that to 16. And now we get to add in extra stat bumps at 4, 8, 12, and 16. So she is going to get 8 points into things. And honestly, I think we can put we can put 3. So if we do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say we want to put 3 into Dex and bring that up to a 16. So we have 5 left. If you're ever faced with an odd number and you don't plan on taking a feat, because some feats actually will just add a +1 to a stat, but let's say that you're not planning on taking feats. If we put 4 into strength, that's 18. And you're like, but we have 1 left over. Where can we get a mechanical benefit from this 1? If you don't think you can round it up. Right here. If you increase your strength score by 1, you have the mechanical benefit of additional push, pull, drag, lift, maximum capacity. Ta-da! It's not wasted. You get to use it. You think int should go all the way up? Now, alright, so Azrael, I will, so how about this? I'm fine. Do you want to make her then, yes. Jumping as well, Joe. So, Azrael, if we do that, and I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Do we want her to be focused on more on Dex than as an attack? And it would also be a defensive, but it would limit her weapons. Or do we want strength and then lower her dexterity? So she would be a lot more offensive and less defensive, but she'd be smarter. Daly says, this is officially, as a player, a character that would be my anathema. Why why would that be, Daly? Or, you know what? We could, we could steal, we could rob from Peter to pay Paul. And if you want, we could put dexterity at 14, strength at 17, and make her intelligence 20. I mean, she's still hitting pretty hard. And look, she's going to get another stat bump anyway. At 19. Let alone if she has magical armor or anything along those lines. Smart and Dexy. Alright, so sure, let's shift strength to a 15 and bump up Dex. In fact, if we started... Oh no, the 15 went into intelligence, so the 14 was strength. So instead, if we did this... Here, I'm for the sake of this, because I like these ideas. $15. If that was the 14, this was the 13. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. All right, Katniss, thanks for hanging out with us as long as you could. I appreciate it. You know you're always welcome. So if we do this instead... Charisma, so Charisma's 10. Int is 16. So we can get rid of these. And remember, we have 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we put... If we put 4 points... We could put 4 points into Int and then 4 points just straight into Dex. That would clear that out and we don't have to worry about strength. You know, Daly, I just realized, were you playing on the Yuan-Ti Anathema? Is that what you were doing? If we stick with this spread, +1 strength, +4 dex, +1 con. We could probably even argue if we put the Constitution here instead. If we didn't want to dump the 2 into dex next level, that would give her more hit points, but 5 int, 0 I love it. She's a wonderful character. That is not optimal, but she's going to be fully functional by the time that we finish with her. Alright, saving throw, 1. Athletics, 1. Dexterity is 4 down the line. Con saving throw is 1. Intelligence is 5. And nature is 5, and the others are 10, because she is a smarty pants. Her wisdom saving throw is a 5, because she has proficiency, but everything else is 0. And that continues the trend down through charisma. Not so clever, actually. This character would be awkward and debilitating to play. Just not my thing, like wearing a pair of pants that are tight, because when you sucked it in, you could get the zipper up and the button fastened. Alright, so you know what? Daily, challenge accepted. And hey, anything we make isn't always universally acceptable. Can we... Alright, crew, we have a job. Can we salvage this character in such a way that Daly might want to play this character? Now, obviously, if there's roleplay cues, like to play the socially awkward schoolgirl, there's not much we could do about that. I mean, if you want to change the age of her or whatever, you make her your character. But can we take a socially awkward, megalomaniacal high school magic wizard school, boarding school girl and salvage her into... That said tongue-in-cheek, maybe even a forked tongue-in-cheek, to Daly. Alright, passive perception is 10. She's just kind of oblivious. That's probably why she fantasizes about ruling the world, because she doesn't really know what's going on in the world in which she lives. Her armor class, if she's wearing leather armor, I mean, if she's going around in her robes, then it's just going to be, 10 plus dex, which is an admirable 14. It'd be 15 in leather. It would be 17 when she's in her sort of magical armor. But if we do give her leather armor, we'll chalk this up to a 15. Initiative is a +4, so she can act quickly. Her hit points, she gets her maximum hit die of hit points at level 1, so that is going to be asterisk, apparently, instead of 8. Then for her remaining 15 levels, because remember, we already took care of level 1, she's level 16, we got to fill in the rest, you get half +1, unless your DM says otherwise, hit points. Then for all 16 levels, you get bonus hit points equal to your Constitution modifier. And so here we go. 16, and then 75. And this is going to become 83. And so this is going to be 99 hit points, pretty respectable. 99 hit points at level 16. With a decent armor class that can go up even further. Even if she's not, especially if she's not wearing armor. I mean, I don't know if it'll be like kill a kill or anything, but... And she's earned herself a name because she's no longer a set of stats. Huzzah. Alright, if she's attacking with strength-based weapons, 1 + 5, she gets a +6. Now, can she manifest a greatsword as her pact weapon? Yes. Will she be as efficient with it as if she could wield it with dex? No, but she could still do it. And sometimes manifesting a magical Eldritch Greatsword gets the message across without even needing to prove that you can swing it. But let's say she's attacking with a dex-based weapon. That could be a melee weapon with finesse, or just a ranged weapon. That is going to be a +9 to hit, so there's only a 15% chance between the two. Alright, now if we're hitting with our spells, this is going to be a +5. Because our spells are charisma based. And to save against it, you add 8. So that's a 13. Every level I give people the option to roll for hit points, not one has gambled yet. Yeah, like it's a little disparaging, right? You're playing Kronk the Barbarian, and you have a D12, and you roll like 1 for a couple levels even, and suddenly the wizard who was getting 6s surpasses you in girth. She's probably trying to overcome that social awkwardness. Maybe it's more anxiety related. She's pushing her comfort zone to grow as a snake. I like the correction in there, Demon. Yeah, and you know what? A character like this, you could set up very well that, I don't know, you and the DM, or even the DM just says, you know what, we're going to have a kind of a coming-of-age arc, or I guess a redemption arc, because she's a sassy, condescending, just wallflower, and something big happens, she makes a discovery, and then what if her intelligence shifts to charisma? Or... Psst, hey. Warlocks in 5th edition were originally supposed to be intelligence casters. Nothing changes if you want to run an intelligence warlock. What if your DM says you can cast off of intelligence because you've unlocked the power of friendship? And now her power is maximum. In kind of a meta. Oh, I got you, Drizzkill. Y'all are generous. Daly says, I'm your DM, and you cannot cast off. All right, Daly. There you go. Y'all heard it from Daly. No it locks at his table. All right. Hey, you could. You got to fight creatively. You know, maybe you go ranged, or maybe you just armor up or something. D&M says Daly's a big meanie. Oh my. Shots fired. Eldritch blasts fired. Pew, 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 pew. Alright, what's left? Well, you know, we are a Warlock, and Warlocks cast off of Charisma at Daly's table. I'm putting you on the spot. It's fine. I haven't run a game where I had allowed an int lock. You know, it's we're all having fun here. Can't fire Eldritch Blast if you don't take it. So I guess it'd just be a the Radiant one then instead. To save against, it's 13, and we get a +5 with our spells. And remember, we have this extra little, we have the Healing Light, which is kind of like a lay on hands. And we have 17 of those, because it's 1 plus our Warlock level. As you recall, we have 3 5th level swaps. By the way, if you're looking at this and you're like, what in tarnations? How... Did the person making this mess up? It's 3, but why is there 4? Because of Warlock. This is the Warlock spot right here. And we have 0 in the others. We are going to get some spells. And as you can see, we know 2 spells at level 1. Hooray! And then we get another spell at level 2. However, we only still know 1st level spells. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... On the odd levels, you see how the odd levels, 3rd you get 2nd, 5th you get 3rd, etc. I mean, you cap out at 5th, but... So this is 2, 3, 4. Remember, Warlocks can change their spells on a level up. And let's say that you can learn a new spell here at level 6. You do not have to put it into a 3rd level spell slot. If you want to take another 1st level spell slot, there you go. This is just when you learn the spell. It could be a spell in any level which is available to your class and fits within the spell slots you have available. And remember, Magic Arcanum, or Arcanum, whatever you want to call it, aren't spell slots. They're their own thing once per day. 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10. So at level 10... Actually, at level 9, we got our 10th spell. We don't get our 11th spell until level 11. That's right, it's odd numbers. It's odd numbers from here. Now... If we kept riding the maximum, then this is going to be 13 and, this is going to be 13 and then, it would all pull up here. So don't be afraid to spread out these other spells, because these extra numbers are not your Mystic Arcanum. These are just more spells to fill in more slots that you want. So we get our 9th. Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We get our 10th spell at level 9. Can't highlight this, just this one. We get our 11th spell at level 11. Our 12th spell at 13. and our 13th spell at 15. So instead of all kind of being bunched up here, we know that we can really... Obviously, we could change any of these around if we wish, but we can drop in 11, 13, 15 if we want to backfill any of these others here. All right. I mean, there's some details like hair and skin and eyes that we can go to fill in. However, our character is built. We're going to go through, and the spells that we're going to assign to her, I'm going to get up and take a little bit of a break. You know, we'll come back, and I think we'll finish out the workshop tonight with a... let's sit down and talk about the type of spells that a character like this would take and still be completely functional in a party. All right, Joe, have a great night. Yeah, I'm going to get up and stretch. I'm going to get something to drink, and when we come back, we'll talk some Warlock spells, and then I think we'll wrap things up for the night. Because it's already 3 a.m., and I am late tired. Especially because, I mean, today was a day, it was awesome. I got a full night's sleep beforehand. I was working in the morning, doing stuff in the afternoon, come back, trying to get slobs set up for the broadcast, have D&D time, I go live. We have an entire emotional roller coaster on stream. Ooh. But yeah, we'll come back and we'll end up with some spells on here, and when she gets uploaded to Discord, you know, download it and, you know, play around with her and see if there's other things that you want to adjust. Those are very good skills, New Monica. Perhaps a slightly different one. All right, I'll be back in a couple minutes, and let's talk some spells after. Keeping in mind the expanded celestial spells. You did, Daily. You did.